Yo folks, and welcome to the channel. My name is Bork, and today's video will be talking about the February clan battle, CB13 to be specific, for 2022. Let's go ahead and jump into the bosses before we get into the fights. We're going to be facing the dragons. This dude right here, just know he's going to be heavy on the magical front, and he's also going to be reducing our magical defense. Then we have the dark unicorn. His biggest mechanic is he focuses on the highest physical attack, so your Ericos, your calories will be getting the most damage, which is good for the first couple of fights for Union Burst specifically. And then we have the Nightmare Ares. He's going to be dealing some magical damage sort of everywhere, and he's also going to be dealing some stuns as well. Let's go ahead and jump right into the fight so you guys can see what they're all about. You can also check the details right here in case you're wondering what the skills do. So right here, the dragon dude, he's gonna be kind of weird just because he's not really a difficult boss, and you can actually deal insane amounts of damage. Just note, I recommend creating a party list and, sort of labeling your teams. Just note, this is only going to be working for lap 1 specifically, so you don't have to run this team. Now, really quick, in case you guys are wondering, I'm getting my teams from Valid4U, so huge thank yous for them. And also huge thank yous to you/Hola Tool. Hopefully I'm saying that right, or Hola Tool. And that is going to be because they brought this Amazon sort of spreadsheet sort of deal where you can compare like different bosses and run like full auto, semi-annual, manual, comparing different sheets and all the different things. So make sure to look at that in case you want to do so. But right here, we're going to be running the CN team, or, Violet4U's team, with the Christinas and the Tomos, all right? And Valentine Shizuru, of course, just to boot. Let's begin the trial. And we're supposed to be dealing right around the 2.96 million. If you deal right around 2.7 million, that's good. Give or take a couple, like 200,000 to 100,000. That should be around the range. If you get lucky, you might be able to deal even more damage. So, really quick right here, you don't have to worry about too much when it comes to this boss, especially on lap 1. I would say maybe even on, tier 2, tier 3, on the higher laps, he's not even going to be that difficult. Our most problematic boss is going to be the sheep. The biggest thing you have to worry about is the fact that if your units, they aren't built for, taking magical damage, might be a little bit difficult. In case you cannot survive, maybe replace Valentine Shizuru with someone like Yukari, because you need like more magical defenses and whatnot, but it's going to be really easy. And in case you guys are wondering, what if I don't have Valentine Shizuru, I didn't pull for her, you can easily replace her with Summer Kokoro. We'll show it at the end of the video, or pretty much at the end of this fight, how Summer Kokoro is going to be looking, comparatively speaking. She's actually really good. Her, TP isn't as great, so the damage won't be as significant. But as you can see right here, we're at the 2.1 mark, and we're not close to like that 2.96 million, but we should be getting there with everyone dealing their Union Burst. Our heaviest hitter right there, 86,000. Very nice right there, Erico. Hopefully we can get one more Union Burst off, but we're pretty close to that sort of mark. 2.8 million isn't bad whatsoever. So there you go, in case you guys are sort of wondering how's this fight going to be looking. And really quick, I just want to run it one more time, because I know a lot of people did not pull for the Valentine Shizuru because they wanted to save for, let's say, the ReZero collab or some other sort of format. I just want to showcase how Summer Kokoro can essentially plug and play within there. And if you don't have Summer Kokoro, you can definitely use someone like Yukari. She sort of fits the mold, but not really. Summer Kokoro, they're more interchangeable, okay? I want to see the damage difference as well, because I haven't really ran this team specifically with Summer Kokoro, but it should be only like a 200,000 difference. I'm assuming Summer Kokoro will get us around the 2.5 million mark. That's going to be the goal. But obviously right here, we're missing some damage. Usually right around like, this halfway point that we're at the 1 million mark, but we're not too far off, obviously, as you guys can see. Now, my biggest thing with this is we're also using very key units like Makoto, Christina, and Eriko. So I don't advise using these units against the CN dragon or the dragon that we have right here, mostly because this dragon is not a heavy hitter. You should be saving your Christinas and Erikos for the sheep or more difficult bosses if possible, unless you're trying to focus on the fact that you can't deal more attacks throughout the day and you just want to get like your heaviest hitting attacks through and done, at the very beginning. But as you can see right here, it's not too bad as far as like the damage difference, right? So we're right around, I think we're dealing 200,000 less, so to speak, because we're at the 2.6 million. Actually, it wasn't too far off comparative to what you would supposed to be hitting, all right? So I hit 2.8 million. Technically, this is 200,000 off, so In case you guys are like, Valentine Chizu, is she absolutely necessary? No, you can definitely replace units. You might be losing some damage, but it's not too bad as well. So let's go ahead and jump into my parties, go into the clan battle, and this is the team that I'm going to be using for the horsies. Just know I just replaced the Tomo with the summer Tamikis. If you don't have the summer Tamikis, you can easily replace it with normal Tamiki. In case you're wondering what that looks like, you can see it right there. We got the horse, we got the summer Tamiki, we have the Tamiki. That's the way you can essentially do it. Essentially, the only difference between summer Tamiki and normal Tamiki, summer Tamiki has more buffs on the actual, I guess you could say, physical fronts. She boosts her own damage, whereas normal Tamiki is just mostly focused on, aiming for the magical units. Regardless of the fact, you can essentially do TP drains with the Tamikis. That's why they're so important. And if I sort of gotten the Tamikis mixed up, you get the point. Summer Tamiki is just better for clan battle. That's all you need to know, even though she's a super niche unit and she's absolutely unnecessary for these sort of situations. I pulled for her specifically, mostly because, the clan that I was in previously was a top 10er, and, they wanted me to pull for Summer Tamiki. I did. And not to mention, she's a pretty amazing waifu right here. So as you can see, Eriko, she is gaining most of the focus when it comes to, receiving the damage, because she is going to be having the highest physical attack within the team. And that's why she's going to be triggering her Union Burst more frequently. Right there, 67,000. Look at Christina essentially showing up Eriko with the 95,000 right there. And yeah, the 98,000 as well. Eriko, what is happening? Your damage isn't as high. Everyone else is flexing on you. But right there, we deal like 2.4 million. My team might be missing a couple of things, hence why my auto damage isn't as good comparative to the actual notes. 2.6 is what you should be aiming for, but still 2.3 is pretty serviceable in my opinion. Let's go ahead and jump into the Sheepies right here. He's going to be our last fight, and essentially the most annoying boss just because he has like the most amount of HP. He's not going to be obviously difficult for the first lap, and just know I am using Ruka. And also note my Ruka is at level 113, and she's only going to be at rank 10. Why is Ruka going to be in this fight? It's only really for lap 1. After that, you can use, your magical teams, your magical comps. You might even be able to run a magical comp against this boss, but it's sort of a waste in some ways because the damage isn't as great. In case you guys are wondering, how much damage does this team deal? 2.4 million. So that is going to be a huge difference comparative to the magical team, which I showcase afterwards, okay? And this is specifically for tier 1, the first lap, right? So the thing is, Ruka is only here for the physical defense down. She's not really, super necessary. You can essentially replace her with Kuka. And the only reason why she's there, I'm assuming, is for the defense break. Why isn't June here? Because June would stand in front of Kaori. June would soak up more damage. Kaori wouldn't get her Union Burst off as many times. Hence why your damage would be lower. So essentially, Ruka's just there in order to deal more damage and stuff. You could possibly replace Ruka with someone like Summer Kokoro in case you want to do that. In case you use like your Valentine Chooser a little bit early to squeeze out more damage. But it's really up to you at the end of the day. I don't think you need like too much like, sort of tanky in like the first sort of fight. There we go, 2.5 million with this boss. That's what I've been consistently scoring with this one. But there you go. Let's go ahead and jump into the other teams in case you guys are wondering what the difference is with the other tiers. So when it comes to tier 2, the teams for the Wyvern and Rai relatively remain the same, with Christina and Eriko essentially staying in the front with the Tomo teams. And then when it comes to the Dragons, we have Mumi, at the forefront. She is going to be very tanky. Feel free to play around with her positioning. She is going to be great for tanking in lap 1 and lap tier 1 and in tier 2. But when it comes to this, just note you should save your magic team for the Sheepy boss right here. As you can see, it's going to be dealing 1.8 million. What's funny enough is that this team will actually be dealing 1.8 million against the sheep boss. In case you guys sort of want to run a magical team, let's say you want to run, your heavy hitting team, for example, this Ruka team on another boss, you can do so. But let's just go ahead and see, in case you guys are wondering, what does the magic team sort of look like? Because I know some people are interested, and yes, Anna is absolutely necessary. I also want to showcase Anna doesn't die almost instantaneously, and she is worth it to raise. I know it's not really, great on resources. Resources now in future clan battles are going to be very difficult. just because of the fact that it requires like way more like stuff. We're building like way more units than ever before. You know, you have someone like Anna, we have someone like Summer Tamaki, essentially units that you wouldn't normally use outside of like the Makoto, Kaoris, and June. And it's kind of weird sort of seeing June getting phased out. June was really good for like the first couple of clan battles, and slowly but surely, you know, you don't need her because she's in certain positions that aren't ideal, and Ruka is sort of getting more limelight as of late. But as you can see here, it's not bad damage. We're already at the 30-second mark, and we're only dealing 1 million. So that's why you want to run the Ruka team. As you can see, while this one does deal 1.8 million, you're essentially missing out on almost like a mil worth of damage in some case, or 600,000 worth of damage because of the 2.4 million difference. So it's up to you what you want to do, but we only dealt 1.6. So technically we did lose practically 900,000 to a million worth of damage against this boss running the magical teams. But those are going to be all like the different fights, you know, showcasing the different teams. In case you're wondering, huge thank yous again to Violet4U. And when it comes to tier 3, just note you don't have to use the magic teams. You can use someone like the Ayane, you know, with the New Year's raid, but the New Year's raid is kind of hard to pull off, so it might be a little bit difficult. I'm not sure what's happening here. You can run Kuka instead of New Year's raid in case you don't have her. Just note your damage will probably be like maybe 200k less. And ideally, you save these units for the Sheepy boss because he's going to be greatly annoying. Notice how the CN Dragon has 2 million damage, the horse has 2 million damage, and the sheep we go down to 1.6. And, you know, the sheep is going to have like 40 million, 20 million HP, something crazy like that. But anyways, if you made it this far in today's video, consider subscribing, dropping a like, leaving a comment, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. Huge thank yous again to Violet4U and you/Holotowol for posting this information. Good luck on the clan battle. Thanks so much. Have a fantastic day, and see you guys in the next one.